The quality of your life is determined by the decisions you make. Every day we are faced with choices, both big and small, that shape the direction of our future. What most people fail to realize is that each decision, no matter how seemingly insignificant, creates a ripple effect that impacts the entire course of their life. These decisions, when stacked together over time, create the person you become and the life you lead. When we think about the decisions that matter, we often think of the big ones: deciding on a career, a relationship, a life-changing move. But the truth is, the small decisions add up to be the most important. The way you decide to respond to challenges, the way you choose to spend your time, the people you choose to associate with, the habits you decide to form or break, all these decisions create the foundation for your future. It's the culmination of these everyday decisions that ultimately shapes your destiny. Now let's dive into the idea of choice. Every single moment, you're given a choice to act, a choice to do nothing, a choice to think differently, and a choice to change your approach. The majority of people are unaware of how powerful this simple concept is. They let life happen to them. They react. They wait for the right time, the right opportunity, the right circumstances. But here's the truth: there is no perfect moment to start. There is no ideal situation that will fall into your lap. The perfect moment is the one you create by deciding to act now. One of the greatest barriers people face in making decisions is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of making the wrong choice. But here's a powerful realization: all decisions come with risk. No decision is without some level of uncertainty, but that uncertainty is where growth happens. When you choose not to make a decision, you choose stagnation. You choose to stay exactly where you are, in a place of comfort, but not progress. Think about the most successful people you know. They are not immune to fear. They are not free of doubt. What separates them is their ability to make decisions despite those fears. They take calculated risks, they trust themselves, and they act with conviction. In that act of making a decision, they begin to carve their path. It is through action that progress is made, and it is through those decisions that their dreams begin to take form. There is a universal truth that applies to all decisions. No matter what, you are choosing something. The moment you decide not to decide, you're choosing inaction. The moment you decide to keep putting things off, you're choosing delay. The moment you decide to stay in a situation that no longer serves you, you're choosing complacency. This is why it is critical to understand the weight of your decisions. Every moment you delay, every time you avoid making a choice, you're still making a choice, and that choice is often to stay in the same place, to not evolve, to not move forward. Think about a time in your life when you made a decision that changed everything. It could have been something as simple as deciding to take a new job, make a new connection, or learn a new skill. That decision, whether it seemed large or small at the time, set a new course for you. It put you on a path that led to new opportunities, new experiences, and new levels of success. And just as that decision changed your life, the next decision you make will do the same. A key element in the power of decision is the ability to take responsibility for the choices you make. When you decide to act, you take ownership of your life. You no longer blame others or circumstances for where you are. You understand that every outcome is the result of a series of decisions you made along the way. This is an empowering realization because it means you have the ability to change your life at any moment. If you don't like where you are, change your decisions, change your actions. People often wait for the right time, the perfect set of conditions to make a move, but here's the catch: waiting for the right moment is just another form of avoidance. Life is messy. Things don't always go according to plan, and there will never be a perfect time. But the best time to make a decision is always now. The longer you wait, the more you put off what could be the greatest shift in your life. The longer you wait, the more you allow fear, doubt, and uncertainty to control you. Your power lies in your ability to make decisions quickly, decisively, and with confidence. This doesn't mean rushing into decisions without thought. It means knowing that indecision is the enemy of progress. It means trusting your instincts and recognizing that no matter what happens after a decision, you can learn from it. Every decision gives you feedback that you can use to refine your choices moving forward. Ultimately, making decisions is what separates those who live life by design from those who live life by default. When you make decisions with intention, with purpose, and with clarity, you create your future. You stop waiting for things to happen and start making things happen. Every decision is a building block. The decisions you make today will shape your tomorrow. The moment you decide is the moment your future begins. Decisions determine the quality of your life. They determine the level of success you experience, the relationships you cultivate, the way you handle adversity, and the direction you head in. And the beauty of it all is that you are always in control of your decisions. No matter your circumstances, no matter where you've been or what's happened to you, you always have the power to decide. You can decide to stay where you are, or you can decide to take that first step into something new. You can decide to play it safe, or you can decide to take bold, courageous action. So ask yourself, what decision can I make today that will create the life I want? What decision will get me one step closer to my goals, to my dreams, to the life I deserve? The power is in your hands. Your future starts with the decisions you make right now. It's time to decide. We all have limits. It's a part of being human. We grow up with them. Society imposes them. Our environment reinforces them. From a young age, we are taught what is possible and what is not, what we should aim for and what is out of our reach. But here's the most important thing you need to understand: your limits are not real. They are merely stories you've been told, beliefs you've accepted, and habits you've created. And the most powerful thing you can do right now is to break free from them. Your limits are nothing more than a reflection of your current mindset. They are a product of the way you've been conditioned to think about what's possible for you. But they don't define you. And they certainly don't define what you can achieve. The truth is, you are capable of so much more than you realize. You are far more powerful than the limits you've accepted as truth. And the only thing holding you back is your own perception of what is possible. Think about the times in your life when you've stretched beyond what you thought you could do. Maybe it was a task at work, a personal goal, or a challenge that seemed insurmountable. In those moments, you didn't know how it would happen. You didn't know if you had the strength or the resources, but you took action anyway. And somehow, against all odds, you made it happen. You broke through the limits that were trying to hold you back. In that moment, you realize something crucial: your limits are only as real as you allow them to be. So what are your limits? What do you believe is impossible for you? Maybe it's the belief that you're not smart enough, or that you don't have the skills, or that you don't deserve success. Maybe it's the story you've been telling yourself that you're too old, too young, too inexperienced, or too damaged to make a change. Whatever it is, it's time to stop believing those lies. Those limits are not your reality. They are just stories you've been telling yourself for far too long. You see, the truth is, every limit you face is an opportunity in disguise. Every time you hit a roadblock, every time you face a challenge that feels too big to overcome, you are being presented with a chance to break free. You are being given the opportunity to expand beyond the walls that have confined you, to push past the boundaries that you've placed on yourself. And the best part is, you don't need to wait for the perfect conditions to do it. The moment you decide to take action is the moment those limits start to crumble. Think about the most successful people you know. What sets them apart is not some innate ability or a special gift. They too have limits. They too have faced fear, doubt, and uncertainty. But what they've done differently is they've refused to let their limits define them. They have chosen to push through the discomfort, to break through the barriers, to do whatever it takes to achieve their goals. They understand something that most people don't: limits are meant to be broken, not accepted. The first step in breaking free from your limits is to recognize that they exist. You can't change something you aren't aware of. If you want to achieve more, you have to identify the limits that are holding you back. Is it a belief? Is it a fear of failure? Is it a fear of judgment? Is it a lack of confidence? Whatever it is, acknowledge it, and then make the decision to challenge it. Once you identify your limits, the next step is to shift your perspective. Instead of viewing challenges as obstacles, start viewing them as opportunities for growth. Instead of seeing difficulties as signs that you should give up, see them as invitations to expand beyond your current capabilities. Every challenge you face is a lesson. Every roadblock is a test of your resolve. And every moment of discomfort is an invitation to step into a greater version of yourself. It's important to understand that breaking free from your limits is not about avoiding discomfort. It's about embracing it. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. Success happens when you are willing to face your fears and doubts head on, when you are willing to push through the pain and resistance. The moment you decide to break free from your limits, you will find that they start to lose their power over you. They begin to shrink, and your capacity to achieve expands. Another powerful tool for breaking free from your limits is visualization. Think about the life you want to create. Picture it in vivid detail. What does success look like? What does freedom feel like? Imagine yourself living beyond the limits that have held you back. Feel the emotions of success, the pride of overcoming your fears, the satisfaction of knowing you didn't let anything stand in your way. Visualization is a powerful tool because it helps reprogram your mind. It helps you see the life you want as already possible, and it helps you take the necessary steps to make it a reality. One of the greatest lies you've been told is that you have to do it alone. Breaking free from your limits doesn't mean you have to face the world by yourself. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who support you, who believe in your potential. Find mentors, role models, and like-minded individuals who will inspire you to rise above your limits. You are not meant to live in isolation. The people you surround yourself with will either elevate you or keep you confined. Choose wisely. But perhaps the most important thing you need to realize is that breaking free from your limits is a process. It won't happen overnight, and it won't always be easy. But every small step you take toward breaking free is a victory. Every time you push past your comfort zone, every time you choose to act despite your fear, every time you stretch beyond what you thought was possible, you are breaking free from your limits. And with each step, you become more capable, more powerful, and more unstoppable. The journey to breaking free from your limits is not a straight line. There will be setbacks, there will be moments of doubt, but those are not signs that you're failing. Those are signs that you're growing. Embrace the discomfort. Embrace the challenge. And keep moving forward. The life you want is on the other side of your limits, and it's waiting for you to take the first step. In every aspect of your life, you have the potential to give more. You have the potential to do more, be more, and achieve more than you might think. But here's the most important truth: settling for less than your best is a choice. And every time you settle, you are choosing to accept mediocrity instead of greatness. To settle means to accept something that is less than what you are truly capable of achieving. It means lowering your standards to meet the expectations of others or the comfort of the status quo. It's about choosing the path of least resistance, the easy way out, the quick fix that doesn't require your best effort. But when you settle, you rob yourself of the incredible potential that lies within you. You deny yourself the satisfaction of knowing that you've given it your all. And you limit the impact you could make in the world by not stepping into your true power. You've heard the saying, good enough is good enough, but the truth is, good enough is not enough. And when you allow yourself to accept less than your best, you are essentially telling yourself that you don't believe you are worthy of achieving greatness. You don't believe you are capable of accomplishing extraordinary things, but the reality is you were born with an innate potential to do more, to be more, and to push the limits of what's possible. The only thing standing in your way is your own willingness to demand more from yourself. We all have moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. We all face challenges that seem overwhelming. It's in these moments that it becomes easy to settle for less. It's in these moments that we tell ourselves that maybe we're not cut out for greatness or that the effort required is just too much. But here's the truth: success is not about avoiding hard work. It's about putting in your best effort, even when things are difficult. It's about pushing through the discomfort and continuing to move forward, no matter the obstacles in your way. The best don't settle. The best don't accept mediocrity. The best strive for excellence every single day in everything they do. Whether it's in their career, their relationships, their health, or their personal growth, they commit to being the best version of themselves at all times. They know that anything less is not only a disservice to themselves, but to the people around them and to the world they have the power to influence. But striving for your best doesn't mean perfection. It means constantly reaching for the highest standard you can set for yourself. It means giving everything you've got, whether you're working on a project, building a business, learning a new skill, or simply being the best person you can be in every interaction. It's about being committed to continuous improvement. Every day you have the opportunity to be better than you were yesterday. And that's what separates those who achieve greatness from those who settle for less. One of the greatest mistakes people make is thinking that they'll wait for the perfect moment to give their best. They believe that they'll wait until they have everything figured out, until all the circumstances align perfectly, or until they feel ready. But here's the truth: the perfect moment never comes. There will always be challenges, always be obstacles, always be moments of uncertainty. The key is to commit to doing your best no matter what. Don't wait for perfection. Start now, Give everything you've got right now in this moment and the results will follow. Your best is not measured by the outcome, but by the effort you put into everything you do. It's the commitment to excellence, the discipline to push yourself beyond your comfort zone, the resilience to keep going when it feels impossible. When you put forth your best effort, the results will come. But even more importantly, you'll know that you gave it everything you had. There's no greater satisfaction than knowing that you left it all on the field, that you gave your best shot, that you didn't hold back. In fact, one of the greatest barriers people face when it comes to achieving their best is the fear of failure. The fear of not being good enough. The fear of not measuring up. But what if I told you that failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a part of success? Every time you fall short of your expectations, you are given the opportunity to learn, grow, and improve. Every time you fail, you gain valuable lessons that will help you perform at a higher level next time. Failure is simply feedback. It's not a reflection of your worth or your abilities. It's a stepping stone on the path to greatness. Another reason people settle for less than their best is because they're afraid of judgment. They worry what others will think or whether they'll be criticized for aiming too high. But the truth is, no one else's opinion matters more than your own commitment to your greatness. People will always have opinions, but they don't live your life. They don't know your potential. They don't see the vision you have for yourself. And most importantly, they don't understand the price you are willing to pay to achieve your best. You are the only one who truly knows what you are capable of, and you are the only one who has the power to rise to the occasion. Living up to your best requires discipline and focus. It requires you to prioritize what truly matters and cut out the distractions that drain your energy and time. It means taking responsibility for your choices, actions, and behaviors. It means being intentional about where you invest your time and energy. When you commit to giving your best, you also commit to letting go of habits, people, and situations that hold you back from reaching your full potential. Every moment spent in mediocrity is a moment lost to greatness. One of the most important things to remember is that you can't give your best if you don't believe in your own worth. Settling for less is a direct reflection of not valuing yourself enough to strive for the extraordinary. If you believe that you don't deserve success, that you don't deserve happiness, or that you're not worthy of achieving greatness, then you'll never give your best. The first step to giving your best is to recognize your own worth. You are worthy of greatness. You are worthy of success. You are worthy of achieving the highest standard for your life, and it's time to start acting like it. No matter where you are in life, no matter how far you've come or how far you have left to go, never settle for less than your best. Push yourself beyond your current limits. Reach higher. Aim for the impossible. And when you do that, you will find that your best is constantly evolving. Each time you think you've given your all, you will discover new layers of potential, new depths of ability, and new heights of success. You are capable of more than you know, and the world is waiting for you to show up as the best version of yourself. Don't settle for less. You deserve nothing less than your absolute best. Adversity is something we all face. No one is immune to the challenges and struggles that life inevitably presents. From the loss of a loved one to financial difficulties to health issues or personal setbacks, adversity is a constant in the human experience. But here's something that most people overlook: adversity is not an obstacle to your success, it is an opportunity in disguise. The greatest growth and the most significant breakthroughs often come from the most difficult circumstances. And while it's easy to feel defeated in the midst of adversity, the real power lies in how you choose to respond to it. When faced with challenges, the natural human instinct is to resist, to complain, or to withdraw. It's easy to get caught up in the emotions of fear, frustration, and uncertainty. In those moments, it's tempting to see adversity as something to be avoided at all costs. But those who are able to transform their challenges into opportunities are the ones who understand something essential. Adversity is the birthplace of greatness. The key to turning adversity into opportunity is perspective. How you view the challenge in front of you will determine how you approach it. If you see adversity as something that is happening to you, something that is meant to hold you back or break you down, then that's exactly what it will do. But if you see it as something that is happening for you, something that has the potential to shape you, strengthen you, and propel you forward, then you will be able to harness its power. One of the most important things to understand is that adversity is not meant to last forever. It's temporary. No matter how overwhelming or difficult it seems in the moment, it will pass. But during that time, you have a choice. You can choose to let it defeat you, or you can choose to let it fuel your growth. Every challenge is a moment of decision. In those moments, you can decide to rise, to learn, to adapt, and to become stronger. Or you can let it dictate the direction of your life, holding you back and preventing you from reaching your full potential. There is incredible strength in adversity. When things go smoothly, when life is easy and everything falls into place, there is little need for growth. Comfort breeds complacency. But when you are faced with adversity, you are forced to confront your weaknesses, your fears, and your limitations. It forces you to dig deeper, to find resources you never knew you had, and to develop skills you never thought you needed. Adversity brings out the best in you, even when you don't see it at first. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are, they didn't get to where they are by living a life free of hardship. No, they faced adversity head on and turned it into something powerful. They learned to adapt. They learned to persevere. They learned to push through the pain, the doubt, and the fear. And as a result, they became stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Their success is not the result of avoiding difficulty, it's the result of embracing it and using it as a stepping stone to greater things. It's important to recognize that adversity doesn't define you. It doesn't dictate who you are or what you are capable of. Your response to adversity is what defines you. It's how you choose to react in those moments that will shape your future. The most successful people in the world have faced some of the harshest adversities, but what set them apart was their ability to see those challenges as opportunities to grow. They didn't let their circumstances determine their outcomes. They took control and turned their challenges into triumphs. The first step in turning adversity into opportunity is shifting your mindset. Instead of focusing on what you've lost or what's going wrong, focus on what you can gain and how you can grow. Every challenge contains a lesson. Every difficulty presents an opportunity for change. When you find yourself in the middle of adversity, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this situation make me better? How can I use this to grow stronger, wiser, or more resourceful? These questions shift your focus from the problem to the solution. They help you look at the adversity not as something to be feared, but as a tool for your own personal development. Another powerful way to turn adversity into opportunity is through resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from difficult situations, to recover and grow from challenges rather than be destroyed by them. Resilient people understand that setbacks are not the end of the road, they are simply a detour. When things go wrong, they find a way to adjust, to pivot, and to continue moving forward. They don't let adversity stop them from pursuing their goals. Instead, they use it as fuel to propel themselves toward greater success. Resilience is not something you are born with, it's something you develop through experience. And the more adversity you face, the stronger your resilience becomes. In times of adversity, it's also important to remember the power of persistence. Success is not achieved by avoiding failure, it's achieved by continuing to move forward in the face of failure. Every successful person has faced rejection, setbacks, and challenges along the way. But the ones who achieve greatness are the ones who refuse to quit. They keep pushing, they keep learning, they keep growing, and eventually they break through. Adversity, when met with persistence, will eventually give way to opportunity. It may not happen overnight, but if you keep showing up, if you keep putting in the effort, you will eventually reap the rewards of your perseverance. Sometimes adversity brings with it a need for creativity. When faced with challenges, you may need to think outside the box, come up with new solutions, or try different approaches to overcome obstacles. Adversity forces you to stretch your thinking, to be more resourceful, and to explore new ways of doing things. This kind of creativity is often what separates those who succeed from those who give up. The ability to adapt, innovate, and find new solutions is one of the most powerful tools you can develop in the face of adversity. Another important aspect of turning adversity into opportunity is the ability to take responsibility for your circumstances. Doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything that goes wrong, but rather recognizing that you have the power to change your response to the situation. It means acknowledging that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you do control how you react. And in that control lies the opportunity to shape your future. When you take responsibility, you take ownership of your life and your success. You stop playing the victim and start playing the role of the victor. In the end, adversity is not something to fear or avoid. It is an inevitable part of life, and the way you choose to deal with it will determine the course of your journey. It can be the very thing that propels you toward your greatest achievements if you allow it. Every challenge, every obstacle, every hardship is an opportunity to become the best version of yourself. And when you embrace that truth, you will find that adversity is not something to be feared. It is something to be embraced as a powerful catalyst for change and growth. Emotions are a fundamental part of being human. They influence every decision you make, every relationship you have, and the way you experience life. They can propel you to success, or they can hold you back, often in ways that you don't even realize. The truth is, your emotions are not just reactions to the world around you, they are a reflection of how you choose to perceive and interpret that world. If you want to take control of your life and truly thrive, mastering your emotions is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them or pretending they don't exist. Emotions are natural, they are part of the human experience. We all feel joy, anger, sadness, fear, and excitement. But what makes the difference between those who succeed and those who struggle is how they manage these emotions. The ability to recognize, understand, and regulate your emotions is what separates the high achievers from the rest. It's what allows people to push through difficult situations, maintain focus, and continue progressing toward their goals, even when the emotional storm inside them is raging. The first step in mastering your emotions is to become aware of them. So often, people react impulsively to their emotions without even realizing what they are feeling. Someone cuts you off in traffic and you feel anger. You fail to meet a goal and you feel disappointment. A friend lets you down and you feel betrayal. The key to mastering your emotions is being able to identify them in the moment. If you can name what you're feeling, whether it's frustration, sadness, fear, or excitement, you've already taken the first step toward taking control of it. Awareness is the foundation of emotional mastery. If you can't acknowledge what you're feeling, you can't control it, you become a victim to it. Once you're aware of your emotions, the next step is to understand where they're coming from. Why are you feeling the way you are? Emotions are often triggered by thoughts, beliefs, or past experiences. For example, you might feel fear because you're about to do something unfamiliar, or you might feel anger because you've been treated unfairly. By understanding the root of your emotions, you give yourself the power to change them. If you're angry because someone insulted you, ask yourself, why does this insult bother me so much? What do I believe about myself that makes me react this way? Understanding your emotions helps you reframe them, allowing you to respond in a more rational and intentional way. When you understand your emotions, you can start to challenge them. Just because you feel something doesn't mean it's true or that it has to control you. Emotions are powerful, but they are not facts. They are temporary states, and they can be influenced by your thoughts, your mindset, and your perspective. If you feel fear before taking a big step, you can challenge that fear by recognizing that fear doesn't mean danger, it simply means you're stepping out of your comfort zone. If you feel sadness, you can remind yourself that sadness is just a signal that something is missing or out of alignment, but it doesn't define your entire reality. The key is to question your emotions, to not automatically believe every feeling you have, and to look at them with a critical eye. The next step in emotional mastery is learning how to regulate your emotions. This means taking control of your emotional responses rather than letting your emotions take control of you. It means choosing how to respond to situations no matter how emotionally charged they may be. For example, you might feel intense anger when someone insults you. Instead of lashing out, you can choose to pause, take a deep breath, and respond calmly. You might feel overwhelming sadness when something doesn't go your way. Instead of sinking into despair, you can choose to acknowledge the sadness and then focus on the next step you need to take to move forward. Learning emotional regulation is a skill that requires practice. It's about creating space between stimulus and response so that your emotions don't dictate your behavior. One powerful tool for regulating your emotions is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of staying present in the moment, observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment, and allowing yourself to experience them without being overwhelmed by them. When you're mindful, you're not controlled by your emotions, you're aware of them, and you can choose how to respond. Mindfulness helps you step back from the emotional charge of a situation and observe it from a place of clarity and calm. This allows you to make more deliberate, thoughtful decisions rather than reacting impulsively or letting your emotions cloud your judgment. Another essential element of emotional mastery is emotional resilience. Life is full of ups and downs, and you can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you bounce back from setbacks. Emotional resilience is your ability to recover from difficulties, to adapt to challenges, and to keep moving forward no matter what. Resilience is not about avoiding emotional pain, it's about learning how to handle it. When you develop emotional resilience, you don't allow adversity to derail you. You don't let failure crush your spirit. Instead, you use those experiences as opportunities for growth, as stepping stones on the path to success. Resilience allows you to process your emotions, learn from them, and keep going stronger than before. Another key aspect of mastering your emotions is self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on yourself when you're feeling down, frustrated, or afraid. You might criticize yourself for not being able to control your emotions better or for feeling weak or vulnerable. But self-compassion is essential for emotional mastery. Being kind to yourself, even in the moments when you're struggling, allows you to process your emotions more effectively. When you treat yourself with understanding and care, you're able to release negative emotions more quickly and move forward with a sense of peace and acceptance. It's also important to recognize that emotions are contagious. The emotions you carry have the power to influence those around you. When you're calm, collected, and centered, you create an environment of emotional stability. On the other hand, if you're constantly reacting emotionally or letting your emotions control you, that energy is felt by others and it can create a negative or toxic environment. By mastering your own emotions, you can positively impact those around you, creating a ripple effect of emotional balance and well-being. Finally, mastering your emotions requires emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to not only understand and regulate your own emotions, but also to recognize and respond appropriately to the emotions of others. It involves empathy, social awareness, and the ability to communicate effectively with others, even in emotionally charged situations. People with high emotional intelligence are able to navigate social interactions with ease, building trust and rapport, and creating deeper connections. They are able to manage conflict, offer support, and inspire others, all because they understand the emotional dynamics of the situation and can respond with wisdom and compassion. In the end, mastering your emotions is not about suppressing them or pretending they don't exist. It's about understanding them, learning from them, and using them as a tool for growth and success. The more you master your emotions, the more control you have over your life. You become less reactive, less impulsive, and more intentional in your actions. And when you learn to harness the power of your emotions, you unlock the key to living a more fulfilling, successful, and impactful life. Life is full of uncertainties. Every day you face countless situations that lie beyond your influence, events you can't predict, people you can't change, and outcomes you can't dictate. It's easy to become overwhelmed by these external forces, allowing them to consume your thoughts, drain your energy, and dictate your emotions. But here's the truth: the key to a fulfilling, productive, and meaningful life is not in trying to control everything around you. It's in learning to focus on what you can control. The things you can control are few, but they are powerful. You can control your mindset, your attitude, your choices, your actions, and how you respond to the world around you. When you focus on these elements, you take ownership of your life. You shift your energy from frustration and helplessness to empowerment and purpose. The external world may be chaotic and unpredictable, but your internal world can be a place of clarity and strength if you choose to make it so. One of the most liberating realizations you can have is that you don't have to control everything. In fact, trying to control what you can't is one of the most exhausting and counterproductive things you can do. When you constantly worry about things outside of your influence, what others think of you, the economy, the weather, or the past, you waste precious energy that could be used to create meaningful change in your life. This doesn't mean you ignore what's happening around you. It means you learn to distinguish between what requires your attention and what doesn't. It's about recognizing where your energy is most effectively spent. To focus on what you can control, you first need to let go of what you can't. This requires self-awareness and a willingness to release the need for control. For many, this is easier said than done. Letting go doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It means accepting that there are limits to your influence. It means trusting that while you can't control everything, you can control how you navigate the journey. Acceptance is not a sign of weakness, it's a mark of wisdom. It frees you from the mental and emotional burden of trying to manage the unmanageable, allowing you to redirect your focus to areas where you can truly make a difference. One of the most significant areas you can control is your mindset. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you focus on problems, limitations, and what's wrong, that's all you'll see. But if you focus on solutions, opportunities, and what's possible, you open yourself up to a world of growth and progress. Your mindset determines whether you view challenges as obstacles or as stepping stones. It influences whether you see failure as a dead end or as a lesson. By choosing to adopt a growth mindset, you take control of how you experience life, regardless of the external circumstances. Another area within your control is your attitude. Life will throw curveballs, there's no avoiding that. But your attitude determines how you handle them. When faced with setbacks, you can choose to complain, blame, and dwell on what went wrong. Or you can choose to approach the situation with optimism, resilience, and a willingness to adapt. A positive attitude doesn't mean ignoring reality, it means refusing to let challenges define you. It's about choosing to see the silver lining, to find gratitude in the midst of difficulty, and to approach every situation with the belief that you have the strength to overcome it. Your actions are also fully within your control. You may not be able to control the outcome of a situation, but you can control the effort you put in. You can control how prepared you are, how disciplined you are, and how consistent you are in pursuing your goals. Your actions are the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. They are the one thing that can turn intention into reality. When you focus on what you can do, rather than worrying about what might happen, you take tangible steps toward progress. Every action you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to your goals. Equally important is your ability to control your response to the world around you. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you react. When someone criticizes you, you can choose to take it personally and let it affect your self-worth, or you can choose to view it as feedback and use it to grow. When plans fall apart, you can choose to feel defeated, or you can choose to adapt and find a new way forward. Your response is always your choice, and in that choice lies your power. Focusing on what you can control also involves setting boundaries. Not every problem is yours to solve, and not every demand on your time and energy deserves your attention. By setting clear boundaries, you protect your focus, your energy, and your well-being. You ensure that you are directing your efforts toward what truly matters, rather than getting caught up in distractions or trying to fix things that are beyond your reach. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They're about honoring your own priorities and making intentional choices about where to invest your resources. Your time and energy are among your most valuable assets, and how you spend them is entirely within your control. Every day, you have the choice to invest your time in activities that align with your goals, values, and passions, or to waste it on things that don't serve you. By focusing on what you can control, you ensure that your time is spent intentionally rather than being dictated by external pressures or distractions. You take ownership of your schedule, your priorities, and your life. Another critical element of focusing on what you can control is managing your emotions. Emotional mastery is about choosing how you feel, regardless of external circumstances. It's about not letting frustration, anger, or fear take over your decision-making. When you master your emotions, you take back control of your mental and emotional state. You stop being reactive and start being proactive. You approach challenges with clarity rather than being clouded by emotional turbulence. Emotional control allows you to stay centered and focused no matter what's happening around you. Your personal growth is also within your control. You can't control your past, but you can control how you learn from it. You can't control how others treat you, but you can control how you treat yourself. Every day, you have the opportunity to grow, to learn, to improve, and to become a better version of yourself. By focusing on your own growth, you take control of your journey. You stop comparing yourself to others and start measuring your progress based on your own potential. Personal growth is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about taking consistent steps toward becoming the person you aspire to be. Focusing on what you can control also means being intentional about your environment. While you can't control every aspect of your surroundings, you can control what you expose yourself to. You can choose to surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you rather than those who drain your energy. You can choose to consume media that educates and empowers you rather than media that fosters negativity or fear. Your environment plays a significant role in shaping your mindset and your actions, and you have the power to create an environment that supports your growth and success. When you focus on what you can control, you free yourself from the stress and anxiety that come from trying to manage the uncontrollable. You stop wasting energy on things that don't serve you and start channeling it toward what truly matters. You take ownership of your life, your happiness, and your future. You become the architect of your own destiny rather than a victim of circumstance.